With ME, it's not unusual to go without a diagnosis for years, even decades. So mine was about 13 years, I think.
As I was reflecting on all the symptoms that you were talking about, I can rattle off a couple of other conditions as well where there's still so much stigma in
Yes,
the healthcare
definitely.
system, like depression, even chronic depression, anxiety disorders.
Yep.
Let's talk about PCOS as well.
Yep.
Or I think they call it a PMDD
PMO.
now, or
is it PMOS or
something
PMDD?
like this.
Something, yes.
One of those.
It's changed
don't
and
quote
about
me.
time.
Yeah, exactly. But how many women were told when PCOS initially came about that, oh, you're all overreacting? Same thing with depression or even anxiety, where people are just saying you're overreacting, you don't know what's going on, you're healthy, there's nothing wrong with you. Women were misdiagnosed for years before things came to light. So take us back to when you first started experiencing the symptoms to when you were actually formally diagnosed with ME.
Based on the medical history that, we went through and going through everything in my life, they think that it started between the ages of 12 and 14. So there are times with ME that quite often you can pinpoint the exact time in terms of it might be an infection. You don't recover very well from an infection. And that, again, is me really simplifying that. But with me, it was very difficult to pinpoint an exact moment. So when I went to the doctors and they're like, okay, what kind of stresses or traumas or triggers were there, and trying to figure that out. And just to clarify, a stress or trauma is not necessarily as in stress or emotional trauma. It can be those things, but it can be an accident, a physical accident. It can be a cognitive and mental strain. It can be anything, really.
Injury to the body.
An injury, exactly. Yeah. So many different things. And with me, basically, to summarize what they said, so you had the mother lode of stresses and traumas, and which is why it was so easy to overlook that I had underlying conditions.